This section of the Great Northern Highway has a lot of long sloping hills, and this, combined with strong winds, made the going a bit tough for the poor old coaster. It was a case of 70 kilometres an hour up one side of the hill and 100 kilometres an hour down the other. We had intended to get to Toodyay via New Norcia, as we wanted to buy some of the delicious bread baked by the monks. But when we reached the turn off to Bindi Bindi, Google Maps was indicating that this was a faster way to get to Toodyay. Reluctantly abandoning the bread idea, we turned left and went down the back roads through Piawanning, where there is actually a free rest stop with toilets, and on to Yerecoin. It was already lunchtime, and any hope of going to Toodyay in time for a nice steak at the local hotel had faded away. Instead, we decided to stop overnight at Yerecoin. There's a good little caravan facility in town, with toilets, showers, power, water, and a playground and gazebo. It turned out that the cost was $25 a night, regardless of whether you connect to power or not. Cheap enough for a powered site, but probably a little bit over the top for an unpowered one. Since we weren't going to get much solar due to the clouds, we opted to hook up to power, and after paying at the local store, and you have to pay cash only, we made our way down to the little campsite and settled in for the rest of the day. And this is in the gents. This is the shower facility, and you've got hand wash, sink, some paper towels if you need them, ubiquitous urinal and dunny, plenty of hooks on the walls if you need to hang clothes up and that sort of thing, little seat in the corner, and they have some info on the wall there, various bits and pieces, and information about the rest area and perhaps other places to see and things to do. So yeah, all in all, pretty good. You know, quite tidy, clean, and for the money, yeah, I reckon it's worth it. 25 for a powered site, and this is not bad. Now, for some reason, the ladies doesn't have a shower, but there is a unisex mobility toilet next door. And it's around this side. Okay, so the ladies one there's no shower in there, unlike the gents, but you've got a what I presume is a unisex ambulance toilet here, and that has a shower, and I presume that's where the ladies are meant to go and have their showers. There's a lock on the back of the door, so safe enough. That's why there's no curtain here, I guess. But yeah, these are pretty nice facilities for a little place like this, and it's great they've made it available for the travelling public. One of the reasons we like to support these little places is because if you don't, they're not going to be here forever. They cost money for the local community to upkeep and maintain. I got the parrots over there competing with my nattering. But yeah, if we the travelling public don't come in and support these places, they won't be here. You've got the local tennis club next door, some rather posh looking courts over there, and you have this shade cloth area, which is the playground little area here, under cover at the tennis club as well. And I suppose if it's raining, that would be a good covered area if you want to sit outside and not be cooped up in your van. I don't think the tennis club would mind too much if you used their undercover area if it's raining, or even if it's really hot and sunny. It'd be a good place to bring your chairs and sit down and have a relax. The weather actually cleared up overnight, which was great, and we woke to blue skies yet again. It was due to rain later in the day, but we did hope that we'd manage to get everything done and get to our next campsite before it actually started to rain. Just on our way to Toodyay this morning, and along the way we're passing through Calingiri. Now, is it Calingiri or Calingiri? I'm sure somebody will correct me. I'm not really sure which is the correct pronunciation for that. Just over the back there is the toilets and the community centre. And it's Anzac Day this morning, so the flags are up, the War Memorial over there, and they're obviously preparing to have a bit of a service and remember the fallen servicemen. And I'm just going to have a little wander around town and do a little bit of filming. Not a very large town, but you do have a little shop here. And this used to be the caravan facility. I don't know if they're still using that or not. Could be. It's very tiny. I remember we stayed in there once years and years ago, but I don't see a sign or anything out the front anymore, so I'm not even sure if that's in use these days. There's a dump point down in the corner. I presume this caravan facility is still operating, although there's no signs. Power boxes around, dump point in the corner there. Looks like toilets and a barbecue area over here. Okay, they still are operating by the looks of this. Although, on arrival contact the caretaker. And no number. So yeah, I don't know. Don't know if this is still in operation or not. The toilets are open, so I'm guessing it is still in operation, maybe? Would be nice to know. As you can see, there's power boxes around. The shop's right in next door, road board office. And they have a little seating area with a barbecue here. And I gather that would be some sort of laundry facility. Let's see if it's open. Yep. Yeah, and they've got a washing machine and that in here. So it looks like it's still operating. Whether they get many people in here, I don't know, because it's not a major destination, I guess. Little church here. As I say, not a very big town, but still has a few interesting little buildings to have a look at if you come through this way. And we are back in Toodyay again. It wasn't all that long ago that we were here, and got the RV and caravan parking area up here, which is very useful. Always good to have somewhere for bigger vehicles to park. And plan A is to have some lunch in town, but it's Anzac Day, so I don't know what's open, what's not. Hopefully the bakery will be open, the pub, and maybe even Christmas 360, because Belle hasn't seen that. Dorothy was with me last time. So we'll see what's open and what's not, I guess. Being Anzac Day, there were some shops that were closed in town, and the pubs would only open at midday. We watched the Anzac Day march, and then went to the bakery to pick up morning tea. After that, it was really just a matter of wandering around, picking up some supplies, taking a few photos, and then waiting for the pubs to open. We were going to try to have lunch at the Victoria Hotel, as we were told by a number of people that it was the best in town. But as it got closer to midday, the crowd outside began to grow, and it was easy to imagine just how long it was going to be before we were going to get our lunch served. Nobody was waiting outside the Freemasons, so we went over there and ordered a couple of steaks with fries and salad. The meal was good, although the steak was a little bit overdone for medium rare, but we were happy enough with the quality and the quantity. Price is another matter when it comes to eating out these days, and it seems like every pub is charging about the same. If you buy a couple of steaks with a beer and a soft drink, you're not going to get much change out of $100. It's a big chunk of money to fork out for lunch. With lunch over, we waddled back to the coaster and set off for Cobbler Pool. It's about a 15-minute drive, and the weather kindly stayed nice and dry until we got the camp all set up. We took our last ride of the trip on the scooters around the campsite, and shortly afterwards the rain arrived. Intermittent trains rumbled past from time to time, but generally the campsite was nice and quiet. Well, another trip is just about done, and you're probably going to hear in the background the wind howling through the trees. We're in for a bit of rough weather on the last night by the looks of it. We've been pretty lucky with the weather so far. The first rain we had really was yesterday when we poured into Yerecoin and coming down the Great Northern, but it looks like we are in for a bit tomorrow on the way home. We're just up near Toodyay. We're at the Cobbler Pool site. A couple of other caravans down here. Not much going on, pretty quiet. It was Anzac Day today, and we went into Toodyay and had a look around, had lunch there, saw the parade, which you will have already seen on the video. But overall the trip's been good. We had a couple of minor hiccups here and there, the flat tyre, leak in the water system, nothing minor. Let's touch wood and hope that there's nothing in the last few kilometres heading home tomorrow. But of all the places I went on this trip, I think Hoover House has got to be the standout for me. I've been dying to get back there and stay there overnight. It was worth every cent of it. I absolutely loved it. I can thoroughly recommend it. If you're out that way, really give it a go. Go and stay there overnight. Fantastic old house, beautifully restored, reeks with WA history. Absolutely reeks with history, that place. And the museum and the little shanty town down the bottom, just brilliant. The only negative I got to say about Gwalia is that old state hotel that's really being left to rot. The mining company, they've got their hands on that, should get a kick up the arse because they're not doing anything to restore that place or keep it in decent condition. We've only got 2 state hotels left. All the rest of them are gone, and those places need to be preserved. Whoever's responsible for that building needs to pull their finger out of their backside and do something with it. Turn it into accommodation. Get more people to come to that and see that wonderful place. Gwalia is, well, it's a bucket list place. If you don't go and see it, you're crazy, honestly. It's one of the best and most interesting places you're going to see historically. It's really fascinating. But anyway, for the rest of the trip, we've stayed at some great little camp spots, a few spots where we stayed at the old railway dams. There's been a few of those. Very nice places, and we've had a great time. So overall, it's been a good trip. I hope you've enjoyed riding along with us, and I hope to see you again next week when we are back to our more normal videos, which are our more detailed ones. These trip videos, of course, are like a bit of a blog. You're following us along day by day as we're going from place to place. There's not as much detail in these videos as there will be in the later ones that come along that look at specific places one by one. And of course, a lot of people are not going to find the places in these trip videos because they're looking for a specific place, and we have a number of different places in the one video on this. So that's why we produce the individual videos later on that have got all the details that you're going to want about each site. Anyway, thanks for watching us. Thanks for coming along for the ride. See you next Saturday, and thanks for watching. See ya.